I tried to be funny and look up all the stuff that happened on September 6, 2023. But all of it is political and depressing. But that's the last time the White Sox won in Kansas City. Bryan Shaw got the save. I don't feel like we can overreact enough to this today on the CHGO White Sox postgame show. Welcome into CHGO White Sox post-game show, presented to you by Bet365. I didn't say AO, whatever. AO, welcome into CHGO White Sox post-game show, presented to you by Bet365. Use code CHGO365 when you sign up, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary with our friends over at Bet365. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. Make sure you're subscribing to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. We're getting closer to 90,000 subscribers. Tonight is the second preseason game for the Bears as they take on the Buffalo Bills. We'll have a post-game show right there. There's Greg. Oh my God, Greg Braggs is here.
Greg Braggs sighting.
Greg Braggs has just shown up in the office. Oh my God, celebrity sighting. Here we go. This is exciting. I'm Sean Anderson, your host. Alongside me, Joey Christopoulos, my producer.
Hello, Sean. You feeling all right today, man? You missed the AO. You doing okay?
Honestly, I didn't know that this was a stat. I took the weekend off. Okay, folks. All right. I was on Friday. I got to see my buddy Nick, who is in from Hawaii. Got to meet his fiance, Courtney. Very lovely. You know, nice to meet him. Wasn't watching the White Sox. I was at a pub or whatever. We went to a place for food to get a pizza. On the screen was ESPN2 showing the Savannah Bananas. Okay, so, you know, I did get to see some White Sox baseball technically on Friday. And then on Saturday, there was a whole baby shower. I was driving out to Joliet and back from Joliet. So, you know, I didn't get a chance to watch those games. I caught up with the Sox early this morning, but I didn't realize until Len Casper said, oh, well, the White Sox haven't won in Kansas City last year, and they haven't won since. So this would be the second straight year that they get swept in Kansas City if they're not able to win.
Yeah, when the Sox go to Kansas City, maybe it's best to just live your life and come back in 72 hours. But we're going to recap it for you if you missed it.
I didn't know it was that long. I had no idea that Bryan Shaw has the last White Sox save in Kansas City. Like, 2023, Miguel Cairo. No, he wasn't the manager. No, it was the first year of Pedro. Pedro was the manager, but like,
Tukey time.
In that year, May 2023, Lori Lightfoot was still the mayor of Chicago. Like, it's that long ago. Like, it's been a very, 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 very long time that they haven't even won a single game. And it felt pretty good there for a second. Lenyn Sosa hitting a home run. 1-0. All right. Sox get to cruise on. What was that with the first inning too? Just make sure. Yeah, the first inning, he was batting second today. So he hits a solo shot to give the Sox a 1-0 lead. And it's like, all right, just protect this. And then the sixth, it's like, you know, insurance runs are always nice. Caro goes to the left side and drives in a run. So you got a 2-0 lead. And Davis Martin at that point, I think, still had his no-hitter. So it felt good. As good as you can if you're a White Sox fan in Kansas City. And then the bullpen came in, and things got extremely disgusting in the eighth inning for Grant Taylor. We'll talk about it. Beef Loaf is joining us in the chat. Victor Von Doom's joining us. TR as well. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. We will steal a segment from Beef Loaf directly. I still have to send Joey the graphic. But we'll look at players since July 1st because there's a lot of interesting things that stick out. His guy, White Leary, Brooks Baldwin, looking very nice since his call-up in July 1st. He had 3 hits today. Edgar Caro, who drove in the second run today for the White Sox, looked fantastic. And there's a real interesting part of Luis Robert Jr.'s game that is sticking out to me. Again, the hitting part could be better. We know it could be better. But the discipline has stuck out. We'll also bash Andrew Benintendi because I feel like I have taken
too long of a break.
My foot off the pedal on that one. I felt like, you know what? Hey, let's give this guy a break. But boy, that guy sucks. And finally, we'll talk a little bit about Banana Ball and the Savannah Bananas. Let's jump into today's game. The guy who keeps proving me wrong is Lenyn Sosa. Another home run. He's really the only White Sox that showed up this entire series for the White Sox when it comes to offense. He had a homer today, and then he had a homer on he had a homer on Friday as well. So 3-1 Sox lose on Friday. Sox lose 6-2 on Saturday, and then in a much different way, they lose 6-2 today. Lenyn has just been growing very, 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 very gradually. And they keep giving him plate appearances, and very, 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 very slowly, he's getting better. I brought up, I think about 2 weeks ago, when you look at the top 10 of players who have gotten 900 plate appearances, Lenyn Sosa is 7th for worst walk rate. And that's since 1995. The top 2 hitters are Greg Maddux and Livan Hernandez. Those are pitchers. I think 5 of the top 10 were also White Sox players, so it kind of just tells you about the organization. But it seems like Lenyn is trying to break away from that mold. There's been a lot of 0-2 counts that he's been able to get himself out of. He has the most 0-2 hits in Major League Baseball this year. He also has like the 3rd most 0-2 counts seen in Major League Baseball this year. But on an 0-1 fastball right down the middle, he sees a mistake and he drills it. Just a complete bomb. I think it hit the fountains. A mega shot from him, 108 off the bat. And what you have seen since July is his walk rate go up. I mean, he's been over 6%, which I know still isn't that great. But when you're at 2%, you're gaining 4% on that. It's exciting. Like, I think that's a true growth from him. Again, it's not insane. We'll get to the 8th inning where he runs into some defensive issues at first base.
No.
But he can hide it when he's hitting home runs. Also, I mean, part of it wasn't even on him. Like, they didn't lose the game because of his poor 8th inning. Grant Taylor and him just couldn't connect on a pickoff play. But he's been better. And I really feel like he's a guy that can keep skating by. Like, Josh Rojas is the next to get cut if they're cutting somebody. It's not Lenyn Sosa. He's really continued to grow, and I know I've talked a lot of crap about him. I'll walk it back a little bit.
Sean, I need some life advice. How am I best?
You are older than me. You're screwed.
How do I best prepare myself in life for Lenyn Sosa probably leading the White Sox in home runs this year?
Well, he's at 16 right now.
At 15.
I think 15.
Yeah.
So that's his.
And he's the team leader in RBIs too as well. I believe at 50.
Yeah, and it's sort of speaks to why he's at 16 now.
Oh, he is at 16.
So it's similar to why I picked Vargas. I thought that he would get a ton of plate appearances. I didn't think that he'd ever get benched. And I thought that he would just kind of very slowly, under the radar, lead the team in home runs. I was just wrong on the player. You're wrong on the player, too. You picked Miguel Vargas. I picked Miguel Vargas. I didn't think Robert would still play like over 100 games and not lead the team in home runs. I thought he'd be traded also. That was part of my thought. So the fact that Robert won't lead the team in home runs and still be on the team and isn't even that hurt. Like, I think he's already passed the amount of games that he played last year. Like, that looks really terrible. But it's one hell of a credit to just Lenyn specifically. The fact that he has been able to skate by, and skate by is a iffy verb there, but skate by, stay under the radar, survive roster cut after roster cut, not be like a Romy Gonzalez, and continue to impress offensively. I'm all here for it. Chris Withers, the producer of CHSN White Sox Baseball, put out this graphic yesterday. Some elite company for Lenyn Sosa and Colson Montgomery, highest barrel rates in Major League Baseball since July 28th. It is Kyle Schwarber at 22.4%, and this is July 28th, minimum 100 pitches seen. Schwarber won 22.4%, Shohei 19.1%, Lenyn Sosa 17.9%, Colson Montgomery 16.3%, and Riley Green 16.1%. I think Montgomery had a pretty poor series. I don't think that that he's in that company anymore, but Lenyn hitting 2 home runs, I still think that he's up there with Kyle Schwarber, Shohei Ohtani, and Riley Green. So credit to Lenyn. It's been impressive, and the ugly profile does seem to be turning its head, hopefully slowly, for Lenyn. Part of the issue then still is he's not making as much money as Andrew Benintendi. His best position is likely DH, but they can't put him at DH because Benintendi's making $17.1 million. And I'm talking more for 2026. Right now, they just don't have enough healthy players where Benintendi's still in left field. And poor Benintendi. First hit is a bloop double by Yaz. And when they cut to the large frame of how it landed, Benintendi's out by like the left center scoreboard, and this ball lands like truly right on the left field line. So he's, I think, legally, technically, in the state of Missouri when he starts his left field run and then ends in the state of Kansas City by the time he gets to that foul ball.
Did he have to pay a toll on the way down?
Probably. I think he had his iPass on him, though. So, it's all right. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. We do see some comments, so let's get through them, and then we'll talk a little bit about that ugly bullpen outing, as I think somebody said Steven Wilson is so bad. So shout out to them. Victor Van Doom saying Steven Wilson was hella ass today. So there we go. You want to go down to, I think, Grumpy Pig. Grumpy Pig saying, Grant Taylor learning his fastball isn't so special in the major leagues. Yes and no. The pitch to Bobby Witt Jr. was just a meatball. It was just a 96-mile-per-hour fastball, like right down the middle. It wasn't middle. It was middle-low. But, yeah, I mean, the real thing is that he doesn't trust his breaking ball. And I don't think he threw a single one of his curveballs today for a strike. So when he is just four-seam fastball and cutter, it's lack of just his four-seam fastball isn't that special, or his fastball just isn't that special. It's just that he has nothing else to at least tempt them to swing at. They're really geared up for the fastball, and there's nothing that is tempting enough to make them swing. I mean, the curveball is impressive. It's at 87, has a high spin rate. I think it's tough to pick up, but even when you can't get it for called strikes and get it over to threaten them with a strike, it's brutal. And chiming in, they're so far from being good, it's depressing. I'm receiving some flack for this. I said fun, bad, and not flack, but someone saying, I don't know, Jason Bauman saying, I don't know where this fun, bad stuff came from. What's fun, bad about 300 lost seasons in a row? What's fun about having no chance in hell most days? What's fun about no hope for the future? I do have some hope for the future. Maybe I'm wrong for that, but like Colson's come up so far has surprised me. I didn't think he'd be this good. Maybe it is a Jeff Francoeur moment where he's on Sports Illustrated, and we'll laugh at that cover in 20 years from now. But I think that without a true influx of talent outside of Caro, Teal, and Mydroth, who have looked all right, I think it's truly on the 2026 draft and how they can impress, how these upcoming draft picks in 2024 and 2025 can look. But I think it's, again, crucially important that they get the number one pick. At the end of the day, if they can have a streak like they did after the All-Star game and give us some excitement and then still secure the number one spot, I don't know if I'm going to be that mad. Like, I didn't have high expectations for this team. So the fact that Will Getz is more closer to 100 loss season than 110 loss season in his first year after they lost 121 games, it's more about context than just 3 straight 100 loss seasons in a row. Because again, you're a diehard White Sox fan. Like, yeah, at the end of the day, we were promised a lot more if we then go into the outer context of since 2020, like they shouldn't have been in this position in 2025. Tough S. Like, we just got to move on from it. Like, I don't know. I mean, I had fun post All-Star break. They've run into a pretty bad route here. They're going to be playing the Braves, who are pretty bad as well. Maybe they're able to get some wins. We'll see.
I'm not here to rail against a White Sox fan's expectation, which honestly should be high. And all White Sox fans, we deserve a whole lot better than what we've been getting. So it's very fair to say 3 100 loss seasons and on and on. But again, you just detailed a part of those last 2 seasons did not have Colson Montgomery, Edgar Caro, Chase Mydroth, Kyle Teal, Sean Burke, Shane Smith, Grant Taylor. I mean, these are all guys that I think alludes to us thinking that this team is a little bit more fun than previous iterations, even though they're not winning games, because we get to see these kids come up and possibly compete and maybe get better and maybe become pieces of the future. And let me just throw it on top of there. We ran the graphic last week. They've hit as many home runs as the Philadelphia Phillies since the All-Star break. And last time I checked, people still think dingers are pretty fun.
Well, yeah,
so,
and that dried up quickly except for Lenyn Sosa. So, like, the Phillies, I think, have continued to hit homers, where the White Sox, again, have come back down to White Sox land. And Victor kind of emphasizing it there, where it's like Sox have been playing bad in these stretch of games. Like, the last games against Detroit, Cleveland, and Kansas City have been terrible, which kind of speak to, again, like, the people that know you best, you're still absolutely terrible against. I don't think the Sox are above 10 wins against the AL Central yet. And they only won 10 games last year, so they got to get close. I know we got to hit to a break in a second. We'll answer some of your questions. We'll get to Beef Loaf's tweet that I'm stealing for content in a second as well. Hit that thumbs up button here on the CHGO White Sox postgame show presented to you by Bet365. We got to let you know about our friends over at Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. It's your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, a place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of high-quality cannabis products. If you are a newbie, their bud tenders are kind and knowledgeable and can help you through your first time imbibing, if this is your introduction to cannabis. If you're an expert, you could check out their menu online. It has over 100 strains to choose from, and you can get in and out with their easy online pre-ordering. It's a one-stop shop for all your cannabis needs. Sunnyside has an expertly curated menu, and they have locations all across Illinois. In the city, like Wrigleyville and River North, and in the suburbs, like Champaign and South Beloit. So visit sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter promo code HICHGO for 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Existing users use promo code CHGO50 for 50% off one Cresco Lab branded item. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright buys every day. Only for 21 plus or Illinois medical card holders. If you own a home, congratulations. If you own a home in Cook County, a little less congratulations, because overpaying for property taxes is something far too many Cook County residents are doing, and you don't have to be one of them. In Cook County, appeal windows vary by township, close up rapidly, and are very difficult to win. Let Ownwell's experts ensure you're prepared for when it counts. You could sign up in under 3 minutes, and their team of local experts and cutting-edge technology can start saving you money with no upfront cost. In Cook County, Ownwell has a 25% contingent fee, meaning you only pay if your property taxes are reduced. 86% of Ownwell's customers receive a reduction, and their average savings are $1,102. You need to check this out. You can save on your property taxes, and if you don't have to pay. Go over to ownwell.com/cook. That's OWNWELL.com/cook. Save money on your Cook County property taxes with Ownwell. Back here on the CHGO White Sox postgame show, presented to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary with our friends over at Bet365. Let's quickly jump into the bottom of the 7th. Then I'll answer the chat's questions, and then we'll get into the stuff I'm stealing from Beefloaf. Steven Wilson coming in, protecting a 2-0 lead. They did swap Michael A. Taylor in for Benintendi in left field, which I thought was a great move. Didn't help, as India would later hit a homer completely over Taylor's head that neither Taylor or Benintendi could have helped. I don't even think the guy on stilts from Banana Ball could have helped. He got an easy ground out, or a line out, then he got a ground out. So you're working with a 2-out count, or 2-out inning, Steven Wilson. Just get her done. But then Adam Frazier, who will come up later in the game, ripped a double down the left field line, which is an opposite field hit for him. So again, fairly annoying. Game of inches. Frazier's able to sneak that one within the line, get a double. And then the next pitch, or not even the next pitch, because the first one's a ball from Wilson, but he throws that sweeper that is typically a good pitch right on right. Terrible left on right, but Wilson leaves it right down the middle. Middle down. One of the fatter pitches we've seen from a White Sox reliever this year. And India tanks it into the fountains. Tie game, 2-2. And that is, again, the delicacy of being in a 2-0 game. And I think, as Victor Von Doom said, the Royals are in the hunt. Not surprised that they played hard this weekend. Not surprised that the Sox got swept. I guess I'm not surprised, but it is just deflating because they had the 2-0 lead. You did get some offense. It's a lot to ask Davis Martin to be perfect or not allow a hit. It's a lot to ask the bullpen to protect a 2-run lead. They also should be able to do it. Like, Steven Wilson pitched for a different major league team. This isn't just like randomly for, the White Sox. This isn't just a White Sox guy. Like, he pitched with the Padres. Grant Taylor is lauded as a fairly interesting prospect. Jordan Leisure, again, was an interesting prospect for the Dodgers. They got nothing from those guys. Taylor was able to escape in the 7th after they relieved Wilson. Wilson gave up another single, then they pulled him for Taylor. Then Taylor was unable to get a strike over the plate, got into a 2-0 count. Thankfully, the flyout didn't leave the ballpark. But then in the bottom of the 8th, he gets a flyout to center. Then that Witt cutter that we talked about that was a single, he gets past Quintino striking out swinging, which was a beautiful fastball. Like an insane ability from Grant Taylor to not even lift his leg up fully. It's a true sidestep. He gets 7 feet of extension and easy 98 mile per hour up and away from Pasquantino for a swinging strikeout. And he's going to the sidestep because they want to keep Witt on first. And the first pitch against Garcia, Bobby Witt doesn't even steal second base. He walks to second base without Taylor even looking. And that's something that we've seen from White Sox pitchers in 2024 and 2023. The ugly BS that needs to be cleaned up, because we saw him throw over, Taylor that is, to Witt before. And we saw him look over there before. But he's a guy that you just cannot take your eye off of. And with the jump that he got, again, Taylor hasn't even lifted his leg. Even if he's going to the sidestep or the full leg kick, he could have stole third by the ridiculous jump that he had. So that specifically needs to be cleaned up, not only for Taylor, but just every White Sox pitcher. Stone even sarcastically mentions, like most White Sox pitchers, he doesn't look to first base. And again, Bobby Witt, with how fast he is, Miguel Garcia doesn't even barrel up the fastball well enough. He hits it to the right side of opposite field, in between the first and second baseman. Lenyn gives a stab at it. Maybe a better first base defender makes the play. It's still a well hit, hard enough hit to get through. But Miguel didn't even hit that ball well enough to where if Witt's on first, he doesn't get home. He sets first to third probably. Kaufman does bobble the ball in right field as well, so there wasn't even a play at home. Witt just is able to walk. It's 3-2 Royals. And then they try to pick off Garcia on first and just throw the ball pretty much into the first base dugout. Then Lenyn throws a ball, and I don't know where it was going. I didn't know if he was trying to throw it to the pitcher or the third baseman, and thankfully Vargas is able to actually back it up and keep the ball from getting away from him. But then, Garcia's on second. They pitch to Salvi, and Salvi hits a complete nuke over Brooks Baldwin's head. A ball that Garcia is able to just walk home from on second, and that's the end of Grant Taylor's day. And Jordan Leisure, you think he'd be able to get him out for it, throws a ball to Adam Frazier, next pitch, home run, 6-2. So it wasn't even just a loss. It was a humiliating collapse from the Chicago White Sox. Sydney says today's game from the Sox was a bummer. Great game pitched by Davis Martin, but completely wasted by the bullpen. Absolutely. He says he doesn't want to hear these kids are young. At some point, players have to grow up and start winning these types of games. I hear you, but also, Steven Wilson is not a kid. Steven Wilson's older than me. So that guy that's just bad talent. You could cut him. Jordan Leisure has been really iffy throughout his career. I think that's a guy that would really need to make the bullpen, I think, in 2026 next year. There's no more relying on being a former interesting prospect from the Dodgers. Grant, again, is his issue can be fixed. And I think his issue is fixed by more innings. Grant Taylor is a really difficult player to judge because he didn't pitch much in LSU because of his injuries. He didn't pitch much in the minor leagues because they thought of him as a starter. So they wanted to protect him last year. He only threw 18 innings, I think, in A-ball. And then this year, he has a couple starts, but he isn't really able to get out of innings because of his lack of ability to get people to swing and miss at his breaking balls. So they think maybe we'll see a jump in his stuff once he goes to the bullpen. But the real issue with Grant Taylor, I don't even think is can he make starts, is can he have a viable breaking ball? He doesn't have a slider, which is typically the most used pitch by pitchers, the most common breaking ball. He does have a cutter. So maybe there's a variant of that cutter that could be useful in getting whiffs, but right now it's not. It's a pitch that sometimes they foul off, sometimes they swing and miss at, or sometimes they're able to hit it right back over his head like Bobby Witt was. And it really just becomes, guess the fastball. Is it 96 or 100? You got to be able to be in front of it. So as long as you're swinging early, you're kind of all right going up against Grant Taylor. So I think that with Taylor specifically, he needs the chance to keep throwing and throwing and throwing and throwing and finding what type of breaking ball works from him. We appreciate the super chat from our guy, the Shirtless Wonder from across the street. I didn't see him out on the balcony, but maybe I have to go wave. Thank you, Kevin, for the $20. Your guys, I think, AJ. AJ was a banana, so we got to talk about the banana debut with our guy from the store. If you want to scroll up just a little bit, I think there were some questions. Tom Jankowski saying, one, will Elko ever be on this team? Probably not. Tim Elko is not interesting to the Sox. I've said this before on the show. Repeat it. Jared put this in a piece back when Elko was up. He is not in their internal top 30. He's not a player that I think they find that interesting. I think they know what the profile is, and although he's likely a better first baseman than Lenyn Sosa, I think they like the batting profile of Lenyn Sosa more, and I don't think they're wrong to think of that. I think they're the same age as well, so I'd rather bet on Lenyn Sosa than Tim Elko. And then Tom also saying, should Monty be moved down in the batting order? He sucks right now. No. I think that it's interesting that the AL Central seems to know where to pitch him, but again, that's a person that I want to see have reps. Like, I don't care if he fails or flounders. Like, he's had enough confidence that I think to keep him above water in the major leagues, maybe they move him down against lefties. But I think that's par for the course. So, no, I think he's fine where he is. And then Ivan saying, what's going on with the White Sox? They had a great game this year with the Pope in, but now what's happening here? Well, the Pope has never been in Chicago like this year for a game. He was here 2005 for the game. They had the Mass.
I think he's referring to when the Pope, when they named the Pope, didn't the White Sox win that day? I think that's what he's kind of.
Yeah, I mean, he's infallible, but he doesn't play for the team.
Yeah, we appreciate the question, but he can't pitch the 7th or 8th, 9th inning for.
Yeah, infallibility, I don't think crosses over to athleticism. I don't think that he can hit a 97-mile-per-hour fastball.
Oh, man, if he could scoop it, though, at first, Sox could use that right now.
Sox could use that right now. All right, do we have the Beef Loaf tweet? And Tud saying Bobby Witt Jr. continues to kill the Sox, and Alex says Bobby Witt Jr. kills everyone, to be fair. I think just to back up Tud here, I believe now Bobby Witt either has a 17-game hitting streak or an 18-game hitting streak against the White Sox, so yay! Love Bobby Witt. Hey, remember when he was selected 2nd overall in that draft where we took Andrew Vaughn 3rd? If the Pope was real, because he's not, he's just like Santa Claus, right? Ooh. I think kids watch this show. I shouldn't say something like that. Sorry
Sean,
about that. Can we bleep that? I know. I didn't really think. We usually swear on this show, so I think oh, no. My joke was that the Pope wasn't real. Anyways, Bobby Witt Jr., maybe there's an alternate world where he ends up as a White Sox, but yuck. I hate seeing that guy, just like I hate seeing Jose Ramirez, just like I hate seeing Byron Buxton. There's no one I hate that much on the Tigers yet.
You know who the AL Central loves seeing? The White Sox.
They love seeing the White Sox.
Last 2 years, just padding wins.
Let's quickly go to Beef Loaf's tweet, because at the end of the day, what I want to show you, and what Beef Loaf is showing you here, is stats since July 11th or July 1st, not including today's game. And you're seeing the White Sox players sorted by weighted runs created plus. Edgar Caro, since July 1st, leads the White Sox with a 143 weighted runs created plus. Luis Robert Jr., 130 weighted runs created plus since July 1st. Lenyn Sosa, bumping up. 10 homers? You have 10 homers? Does that say 9 homers?
Well, it's I don't know if it's updated for today, but if it's
updated so now it's today,
10. That means it's 10.
So there you go. Everyone's talking about Colson Montgomery's 10 homers in 36 games. Well, Lenyn Sosa has 10 homers in 38 games, a 124 weighted runs created plus, and then Colson there at 4. Just going back to Tom's question, should he be moved down in the lineup? It's a 122 weighted runs created plus, and honestly, the 7% walk rate to 26%, 28%,
28.7,
yeah, K percent. It's not great. But the K percent's below 30, and the walk rate is above 5.
BABIP way below average.
I'm cool with that. Yeah,
good ISO power.
It's really homer or nothing from him. So I would really love to see more contact from Colson. But all of this to say, because we'll get to this more in a second, the 10th player on that list is Andrew Benintendi. 7 weighted runs created plus. He has the same amount of homers as Edgar Caro, same amount of homers as Luis Robert Jr., same amount of homers as Mike Tauchman, Brooks Baldwin, and even Michael A. Taylor. This guy is having his best year as a Chicago White Sox, and the discourse is still slandering him, saying he's worse than Michael A. Taylor, who was paid, $1.8 million for his services this year? Guy's getting paid $17.1 million, and the discourse is like, hey, he can't even break it to Michael A. Taylor territory. I hated that signing when it happened. I hope you know that I hated that signing when it happened. But the fact that again, this is his best season, where the prior 2 seasons he had like a 294 batting average with the Royals. I think his batting average with the Sox career is now dipped under 240. It makes me want to puke. And although I've hated certain people more, the people who have worn those jerseys, I have never hated the play of somebody more. And it's cute that he's at like 14 homers and he could possibly lead the team in home runs. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter when he cannot make contact, when he does not walk, when he cannot run the bases, and when he cannot play the field. He is the most like vile, grotesque, stomach-churning player I've ever seen on the Chicago White Sox. We have to take a break here on the CHGO White Sox postgame show, presented to you by Bet365. We got to let you know about our friends over at Mint Mobile. Summer is ending, and if you haven't been able to plan barbecues, beach trips, and 3-day weekends because things like your wireless bill, your overpriced wireless bill is holding you back, you need to take advantage with this new offer from our friends over at Mint Mobile. You can get the coverage and speed you're used to, but for way less money and for a limited time. Mint Mobile is offering 3 months of unlimited premium wireless service for $15 a month. Say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you. You can keep your phone, your contacts. All you're doing is ditching your overpriced wireless service. Keep your phone, keep your phone number, keep your contacts. You just save more money. New customer offer with 3 months unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month. There is an upfront payment of $45 required. Limited time new customer offer for 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabits on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. Visit mintmobile.com/White Sox. That's mintmobile.com/White Sox. We want to let you know about our friends over at Monarch Money who can act like your personal CFO. Finances can be messy and confusing. Monarch Money acts like your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control so you could stop earning and start growing. It's more than your average budgeting app. Monarch Money is a complete financial command center for your accounts, investments, and goals, so you don't just have to manage your money anymore. You could start building wealth with 50% off your first year because you listen to our podcast. Without a clear financial picture, financial dreams can feel out of reach. Monarch Money makes managing money simple, even for busy lives. With all your accounts, credit cards, and investments in one place, you'll always know where you stand with our friends over at Monarch Money. Wall Street Journal named them the best budgeting app of 2025. See what you're missing out on. It could be a ton of money. Get control over your finances with Monarch Money. Use code CHGO at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year at Monarch Money with code CHGO. Welcome back to the CHGO White Sox postgame show presented to you by Bet365. Sign up with code CHGO365, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary with our friends over at Bet365. If you have any thoughts, let us know in the comments below. Hit that thumbs up button and make sure you're subscribing to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. We do have a Bears pre- and post-preseason game show coming up on the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. So sit back, strap it down, relax. I screw up that saying all the time, and I'm very sorry, Hawk. Get ready, because if you need sports coverage here for Chicago, we have you set on CHGO. Oh, I can't even hear the sound effects. I turned it down so much. Poor Hawk. Did we just hit Hawk on the top of the head with a foam bat? Poor Hawk. Anyways, we have banana ball talk coming up. Savannah Bananas just played at Rate Field, so some White Sox entertainment was thrown out there. We will also continue our talk about the team since July 1st. If you have any thoughts, let us know in the chat. Victor Von Doom saying, what about Kerry Carpenter when it comes to Tiger Killers? I think he had, 6 homers in 8 games before the past 3-game series. He didn't hit one then, so the hate has kind of dissipated a little bit, but Kerry Carpenter could be on watch. It's not a Kerry Carpenter warning, but he could be a watch right now. I don't hate the Kerry Carpenter mention there. So if you have any thoughts, let us know in the chat. Let's get back to Beef Loaf's. I don't even know why I'm calling it Beef Loaf. He just screenshotted Fangraphs. This isn't even true work. He just took a screenshot of Fangraphs. So thank you for doing the work, Beef Loaf. But a guy who really sticks out here is 6. Brooks Baldwin, 6th highest weighted runs created plus. Joey, you have better eyes than me right now. I think it's a 111 weighted runs created plus for Brooks Baldwin.
Correct.
Brooks today, adding on 3 hits. One of them he pulled to right field where I thought it was an absolute home run. I don't know if this is kind of that ninth guy batting order syndrome where you look over the ninth hitter. Sox kind of did it to Johnny Rave today. I don't even know the guy's first name. But maybe it's a little bit of like just ninth hitter being overlooked, but Brooks has been a much better hitter since he's been called down to Charlotte. Again, can it be sustained? You look at the 6.4% walk rate and the 26.9% K rate. Doesn't seem that possible, but he's smashing balls. I mean, that's a 262 average, I believe now, and the joke is that he's White Leury Garcia, and Leury in that 2017 to 2021 stretch was around 273. So he's sort of in the White Leury range right now. And again, what is important about Brooks, at the end of the day, he doesn't need to be a star. He doesn't need to be an everyday hitter for the Chicago White Sox. What he does, and what's important for the Sox specifically, is his ability to play all around the diamond. Chris Withers, again, with this stat, Brooks Baldwin is the only player in baseball this season to play 5+ games at different positions. He's very similar to maybe Willie Castro, who was just acquired by the Cubs, the Twins player who I think played 5 positions, plus he pitched 2 years ago. He was iffy, for his first couple of years, and then he started to just grow a little bit more and a little bit more. He was even traded, was with Detroit and then went to Minnesota. And he grew once he was, 26. I think Brooks is still 24 years old. So the fact that he's just getting reps out there, whether they're good like today, whether they're bad like a couple days ago where he just completely drops a routine ball down the left field line, like he's a player I'm interested in. He is absolutely on the team for 2026. I don't want to overstate that. Like, is he going to be a top 6 hitter on the team or top 7 or 8 hitter on the team? No, but I think he could be the 13th hitter on the team very easily because of his flexibility, because of his ability to be both a right-handed hitter and a left-handed hitter. I think he's a very interesting project for the White Sox to round out a roster. If Brooks is a starter, that's probably still rebuild territory. But he could be like an Adam Engel. Again, maybe the issue with the rebuild was the first rebuild was that Leury was more of a starter than anything else. But if Leury's on the bench, being able to hit from both sides, being able to play multiple positions, I'll take it. I'm interested in him. Brooks is 24, I think, still. He just turned 25. His birthday was 2 days ago.
Oh,
we're jerks.
Happy birthday, man.
We missed the guy's 25th birthday. Like, I feel bad.
He can officially rent a car.
He could. Happy belated. I hope he rented a real nice car in Kansas City, too. Really explored. I know nothing about that city besides half of it's in Missouri, half of it's in Kansas. Great city. Beautiful city, I think. Alex Sharing this year is definitely an outlier for Carpenter, 3 homers in the 3 years before that. So, not Byron Buxton, J-Ram, Bobby Witt territory. Maybe Torkelson. I think the last White Sox Tiger killer was probably fairly Miguel Cabrera. I think that was the last guy that came up, and every single time he was just dominant against the Sox. Anyways, let's get into Banana Ball. Banana Ball, does it deserve to exist? I think the Savannah Bananas won both of those games. Isn't that the whole point? Like, isn't this just the Harlem Globetrotters, but for baseball? I think they deserve to exist.
That's a fun exercise. If you went around a room, how many people actually knew the score of that game?
Right. I mean,
out of the park.
At the end of the day, it is entertainment in the shape of baseball. I think that you could say that those players definitely are athletes, but are they like athletes in a baseball sense? I don't know. When I see that a pinch hitter for the Firemen has like a 689 OPS and he's their longest tenured hitter, I probably think that guy couldn't cut it in A-ball. And that's why he's doing the Savannah Bananas. I don't think I could do what he's doing. I don't think I could even have a 6 OPS. So again, I'm trying to be fair here, but I don't think people who are upset about this should conflate this for sports. People want to be entertained. I don't think people want to think too much when they are being entertained. So when you can not this is a wrong word, but simplify, maybe I was going to say dumb, but simplify things to where kids and families can enjoy one alike, it's probably good. And at the end of the day, if somebody has a fun enough time at the Savannah Bananas, maybe they're interested in what real baseball is like. So I think it's overall good for the sport. And I think it's cool that we have turned baseball into professional wrestling. Like Mark Buerhle, AJ Pierzynski coming out on Friday, Paul Konerko and Ozzy being there on Saturday, very reminiscent of Diesel returning in the 2012 Royal Rumble as a surprise entrance. Very reminiscent of John Cena returning at the 2007 Royal Rumble in Madison Square Garden. I mean, especially, too, I don't know anything about the Savannah Bananas. When I saw AJ coming out to pinch hit in the first game, I was like, oh, they're done. There isn't going to be more. And then in the next frame, after the Bananas get 2 outs, they go to Mark Buerhle. And Mark Buerhle comes in, and let's show this picture from the White Sox. They had a ton of pictures on their Twitter page. They have the side-by-side of Buerhle pitching off the same mound, the side profile. I do think that's also the perfect game side profile. So very funny games to picture there. But Mark, looking like Mark. I don't know if it's the yellow jersey accentuating the beer belly there for Mark, but that is exactly how Mark Buerhle used to pitch. That is frame by frame. Mechanics are still there. And that's really fun to see. The velocity wasn't there. Looked like he was throwing changeups the whole time. Maybe he was. But it was really cool to just, have that nostalgia. And even though nostalgia is something that you can really take advantage of, at the end of the day, it's entertainment. You should be having fun with it. I think it would be more fun if, AJ or Paulie got a hit. Both of them going 0 for 2 isn't fun.
Paulie rolled that one over pretty good. And my favorite part, too, is you can kind of see him going back to the dugout being, really, pissed about it. And you're like, that's the Paulie that I love.
Yeah.
He's already, kind of, grinding his bat down because he's in a bit of a slump.
Alex saying AJ's the only Sox player to ever make an appearance for both the Bananas and a pro wrestling company. I don't know if that's true because Ozzy, I think, used a steel chair in a TNA cutaway. I believe at White Sox spring training, Ozzy does swing a steel chair on TNA programming. So I think that we could count likely Ozzy and AJ to be one and the same. And I'm surprised also if Mark Buerhle is just not a part of that. Like Mark Buerhle seems to tag along with AJ. Do you have the other picture of AJ and Buerhle together? Because I thought this was hilarious. These two, maybe it's just the color of yellow. They kind of look like brothers. Maybe not brothers, but cousins. There is some resemblance there between older Mark Buerhle and older AJ Pierzynski. But at the end of the day, it seems like people had fun. There was a ton of people there. 2 sellouts at guaranteed rate is, I think, good for baseball. I don't
see the parking lot before the game too. I mean, it looked like a
little
a playoff series, before 93 or 2005, or made me a little jealous.
No playoff series wearing yellow outs for our team.
That's true. But
some of it's a little too gimmicky, like the lip syncing stuff. Yeah, I'm all right. The fact that they have Chance the Rapper there, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm fine with live music. The fact that his dancers are baseball players, it does kind of take the not fun out of it. I don't know. I don't understand it.
It does make you think in some sort of weird alternate universe that obviously baseball is a game of 162 games. It's every single day. It's supposed to be the soundtrack of your summer. But it does make you think if Major League Baseball ever whittled it down to 20 games, all the different kind of bells and whistles that they're trying to pack into a 9-inning experience. Very similar to when you think about the NFL, and again, we have Chicago Bears preseason football on tonight, and CHGO Bears will be right there for it. But again, when you go to an NFL game, you're always going to get some sort of show at halftime, right? You're always going to get a little bit of the pomp and circumstance before and after. In a weird world, if there was only 20 Major League Baseball seasons a year, games a year, there'd be something not exactly like the Savannah Bananas, but there'd be some sort of element of razzmatazz.
There could be some razzmatazz. I wonder too. I think that's something that people don't appreciate enough about baseball is the marathon effect. Because, like, I do hear trim it to 82, then, you know, it'll be more intense and people will care more about baseball. But also, like, then if you trim it to 82, there are people that will be like, oh, trim it to 60, just like the 2020 season. Or, you know, then trim it to 30. You know, just have everyone play each other once and then you get the playoffs. Like, I like the marathon aspect because then, too, you get weird champions if there's like a huge injury or something. So.
I mean, it's completely unique in the sense that because it is every day and it is for those 3 or 4 months, I understand some people's thinking that, you know, we can have it two ways, right? You can get super wrapped up into one game or one performance, or you could also say they didn't play well today or they played great today, but guess what? I get to see them do it again tomorrow. Yeah. And then in the span of 3 or 4 days, your opinion or your narrative can kind of flip on a player or a team. And I don't know. That's what makes the game beautiful to me.
Colson Montgomery.
Yes.
Finally, the thing, too, about Savannah is, like, where do you go from here? You just got Mark Buerhle. You just got Ozzie. You just got Paulie. You just got AJ. I understand people will immediately think Frank. We have reached out about getting Frank on this show. Frank has a price. I don't think we currently have the ability to meet that price. I would assume if you are the Savannah Bananas, you go for the moon and ask likely the Hall of Famer in Frank Thomas. And I would assume that the price for Paul Konerko, Mark Buerhle, AJ, Ozzie is a little bit lower. And I also think that those people are just a little bit more willing to do something like that because they are, A, younger, and B, Frank's a Hall of Famer. Like AJ Buerhle, even though I'd love for him to be a Hall of Famer, Paulie, Ozzie, don't have that honor. They're White Sox Hall of Famers, and they can lean into it because of this. But I think Frank does want to be seen as Hall of Fame baseball person because right now he's a businessman, you know?
Well, and not to be disrespectful, but let's be real. These guys are kind of like living their lives now, so it's a little out of sight, out of mind. The fact that it's the 20th anniversary of the 2005 World Series championship, I think it was perfect timing.
He's on the team. He's on the team, though.
I know.
He won. But I'm talking about a ring.
When I'm saying Buerhle, AJ, Konerko, and Ozzie, they're like, oh, well, I've already done this trip. I've already been back in Chicago.
Right.
They asked me to come back and do this thing. It would be fun. I just saw everybody. It just seemed like that the timing was perfect for all of them to come back and play.
But if you don't get Frank, like what? It's like the year after, it's Juan Uribe, 65-year-old Robin Ventura, Brian Shaw, and then Leary. Like, it's tough to go up from there, I think, after you've gotten likely the 4 best names in White Sox baseball. Final thing, can we go to the Beef Loaf July thing real quick? I didn't get to this part, and this was kind of the whole reason I wanted to bring it up. Luis Robert Jr. is second on this list. And more specifically, his walk rate's at a 9.6% and his K rate's at a 16.5%.
What are we looking at?
Do not understand how that weighted runs created plus number isn't a 200. If you told me in 2021, 2022, or 2023 that at some point he'd have a 30-game stretch of a 6% difference in his K rate and walk rate, I would probably be crying and thanking the heavens. I still think that there is an elite baseball player in there. I still think that there is a franchise player in Luis Robert Jr. Maybe it's not franchise in the way that you build around a team like Shohei Ohtani for 10-plus years, but could he be the best player on a championship team for somebody? Not the White Sox, but I think so. Alex says the lower slugging percentage makes sense. Lower slugging percentage than Brooks makes sense. Brooks at 465, Robert at 451. Yes, and you could look at the average. Again, it's like a 300-plus average. Slug percentage is 451. He's got one of the lowest ISOs on that list. I think it's only above like Teal, Vargas, the guys that actually suck. So you see a ton of like contact now. But again, this is a guy that has elite bat speed. Some of the bat speed's been turned down a little bit, but I wonder if it can come all together from him. And as long as he's healthy, like he still looks viable enough as an athlete under the age of 30 to, if he's able to really hone in that approach and start attacking when he needs to, I think that there's still a franchise player in there. All right, I'm going to end it before I get 2 more delusional. That's Joey Christopoulos, our producer. Thank you to everyone for hanging out with us. Alex, Sydney, Victor, Beefloaf, everyone. Appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up button. Make sure to subscribe to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. We will see you tomorrow. Do we have a show tomorrow? This is not good. Hold on. We should probably know this stuff. Joey, do we have a show tomorrow?
I am personally not with you tomorrow.
You're personally not with me tomorrow. No, we don't have a show tomorrow. We have a show on Tuesday.
Yes. We
have a show on Tuesday and we have a show on Thursday.
Oh.
So fun. Very cool.
Rack it up.
All right. Sounds good. We'll see you then. Goodbye.
We all silly like the mayor.